My biggest memory, most favorite memory since I've been here was probably the first graduation I attended. So as faculty, we go to the graduation and we watch everybody go across the stage and hear the names, and to sit there and know that you were part of those students and that achievement in their lives, that was probably my most lasting memory.
One of my favorite memories of LCCC is the day that we welcomed new students into the Pathfinder building. And when we did that, students walked through that lower level and looked around and just said, "This is cool." And that was really wonderful because that building was built for students and to welcome them in a really fabulous way to our college. And so it was really nice to get that feedback right off the bat from students.
Well, my favorite memory at LCCC happens every year when I watch my students walk across the stage at commencement.
Favorite memory, one of them would be in the fall semester when I was a student here many, many, many years ago. It was probably the first or second week in October. I was in the library on a Friday afternoon. The library was in a much different place than it is now. It was actually up the hill here from the office on the second story, and it wasn't much larger than a classroom. Getting close to closing time, the only person in there besides myself was the librarian. One of my favorite things about the library was it had study carrels, and I'd seen those in movies but never thought I'd be sitting at one. So there's one at the back of the library next to a window that looked out over the prairies. And there's a lot more open space. In fact, from here to the edge of the city back then, past like the Lummus Ranch, basically was all prairie. So I was enjoying what I was studying, and I was getting this nice feeling that maybe this thing called college was going to work out. After all, that it wasn't quite as intimidating as I thought. I looked out over out the window at the prairie, and there was this big storm coming in. And it was one of those magical moments where everything in reality clicked and made sense. And at that moment, everything was right with the world.
One of my favorite memories is the employee appreciation event we have. This year I got a chance to go to that for the first time, and oh my gosh, it is just phenomenal. I love the way people were appreciated by the college and the way that all of the employees, they just loved the event. They got excited. HR put so much effort into that, and all the fun they did with the Dr. Seuss theme. It was just enjoyable to watch the enthusiasm, the applause, the laughter. That was just a great event. And it's fun to be involved with a community of learning like that.
Like graduation, although not necessarily the ceremony itself, but that time of year, that feeling of celebration and graduation, where we see students over the course of their whole career here. And I'm thinking a lot, we get to know like our student employees really well, but also there are some students that just practically live in the library. And I was also thinking about one particular student who, she was an older non-traditional student, and she had recently lost her husband, and her son was grown and in Laramie going to college. And so she was living on her own now, and she decided she wanted to go back and become a nurse. And so, we watched her first come back, just, recently losing her husband, going through the pre-nursing classes. She took a class from me early, one of her first ones. And then she was in the library all the time with her friends studying. She would even bring us food and stuff, and just because she was there all the time, and she liked to bake in between studying. And she had to take a break in the middle of her nursing to go care for an ill family member on the other side of the country, missed like a semester or two. But she came back and she finished, and she invited everyone in the library to her graduation party after she was done. And, we'll frequently go to like the penning ceremonies and I would say that those kind of memories are my favorite, just kind of watching the students grow and get to their final goal, and just that excitement, the nervousness changed to excitement, changed to like accomplishment, and being able to be there for them, cheer them on, help them with their assignments, whatever it takes to kind of help them through till you get to the point at the end of the year where we can celebrate that you did it.
I have so many fond memories of my time here at LCCC, but my favorite memory has to be commencement from the spring of 2015, really for two reasons. First, it was the first year that we actually marched the schools in using the gonfalongs, the large flags, and there was something incredibly powerful about watching the graduates walk in behind their school's flag. And the second is because it was the first record-setting graduating class at LCCC, where we graduated more students than we ever have in our 50-year history.